Greetings, Reelers. My name is Philip, and together with my wife Sherry and two of our friends, Chris and James, we're Fellowship of the Reel. 4 people who love talking about movies almost as much as we do watching them. We hope you will join us as we dig deep into cinematic masterpieces and some that are, well, maybe not. You have an opportunity to be the 5th host of our little show. Click the link in the show notes and leave us a voice message telling us what movie you would like us to review. You can also reach out on our Facebook page, Fellowship of the Reel. From all of us at Fellowship of the Reel, thanks for listening. Okay, on with the show. At this point in the movie, I'm like, okay, well, here's what you should have done. And I'm thinking...
Yeah, right. It's one of my favorite openings ever.
And I've watched that alternate ending, and it is garbage.
It doesn't go where you think it's going to go.
There's a monster. I'm ready for it to be over.
Well,
But I'm not sure I can even fully explain why I love this movie so much.
I had some issues with this scene.
My feelings on it have not changed.
I fell asleep until the screaming. This is actually where I started enjoying the movie.
This is one of my favorite scenes in all of cinema.
I thought that should have been cut completely.
Fine.
Well, I'm sure it's artistic and you just don't get it. All right, here we are, Fellowship of the Reel. 4 friends at a movie. This is my pick. This time we're reviewing Dark City.
And you like this movie? Yeah?
Yes, there it is. Yes.
I thought Chris picked this one.
Sure. So we're going to get into
I
this.
did like this movie, so if that helps, I did like this movie.
Sure. But first we want to do Sherry's Queries. Is that what we're talking?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was even thinking about I'll give my review right now if you like of the movie.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
You watched it 6 times, but not all at once. All right. Sherry's Queries. All right, Sherry, give us your best shots here.
All right, this is the easiest one.
Okay.
Ready?
Yep.
You ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight?
Oh, that's Batman.
Batman.
Jack
Yeah.
Nicholson.
Jack Nicholson.
Okay, I was going to say what Batman?
Yeah.
Joker, yeah.
The best Batman.
Yeah. I'm
So I
Batman.
like.
Let's get nuts.
Yeah, I like. I'm Batman.
I'm Batman.
Yeah. Okay.
He's coming back as Batman in the
Really?
new Flash movie.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
And Ben Affleck, too, for a little bit.
Yeah.
Mm.
But like Michael Keaton will be Batman, so it's I
Yeah.
think it's worth seeing just for
I
that.
pretty much like everything he does. I can't
Apparently that new Flash movie is just really good.
I'm getting very superheroed out, but
There's something called the Blue Beetle coming out. What the fuck is the Blue Beetle?
Yeah.
I'm not a comic book guy, but how deep are you digging for these things?
They're digging pretty deep, man. But
I've never heard of that.
Michael Keaton back as Batman, I'm there.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, I like. Okay. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
This is an old one, really old one, and
Okay.
I'm not sure how he pronounces the name. You'll probably know it by the name, but hold on and let me say the whole thing.
Okay.
Hey, blonde, you know what you are? Just a dirty son of a... And then there's music.
Hey, blonde, you know what you are.
He may say, hey, blondie. Hey,
Yeah, it's
blonde.
Good, Bad, and the Ugly.
Yes.
Oh, Blondie. Yeah.
Blondie.
Blondie? Is it Blondie?
Yeah.
I just remember Jim
Good
calling you
dig there,
blonde.
Chris. I might have got, because I was thinking, we started talking about blonde. I'm like, okay, Reservoir Dogs? No, that doesn't sound right.
Well, I couldn't understand if he says blonde or blondie.
He calls him Blondie, although
Okay.
Eastwood has, I don't know why, he's not, doesn't have blonde hair in that movie. But
Right, it's weird.
But you know, and then instead of saying the word "you son of a," and it goes into the music.
Yeah.
The music.
Yeah. One bastard goes in, 2 bastards come out.
So if I had done the music, you probably would have
Sure,
immediately known. Okay, so yes, the good, the bad, the ugly.
Ugh.
All right, now
Well,
this.
I'm screwing up on Eastwood today. That is, I am embarrassed because I might have gotten there eventually, but geez,
I thought
that's a
you
deep
would
track.
get it right off.
I know.
I really thought you would.
God almighty. Eastwood's about to make his quote unquote final film for Warner or whatever.
Isn't he in his 90s?
He's like 90 something. Yes, absolutely. And he's known for like one take. There's this whole thing with Matt Damon. Matt Damon's like, hey, can I do another cut? Yeah, we're all just take up our time. We're all just waiting on you, you know?
Don't waste everybody's time.
Tom Hanks talks about it too, like because he's I think been in one or two of his solely for sure. I thought there was another one he did that Eastwood directed, but Tom Hanks talks about it too.
Yeah.
It's like he's just so soft spoken. Like other directors, action cut, and he says Clint Eastwood's like, yeah, okay, that's enough of that.
Yeah.
That's how he tells
All
him to
right, go
cut.
ahead.
Yeah, I bet he does too. Like, and that man tells you that's enough. You shut up and you move on.
You know, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
All right.
And okay, we'll talk about this a little bit when we get into talk about Dark City with the studios executives, douchebags. Give us the money and then get out of here. That's what I want to tell these
Pretty
executives.
much.
Eastwood has been exclusive to Warner Brothers for
Like almost
years.
his whole career.
So
yeah.
he came up with this movie. This movie he wants to do as his final film. And he went to Warner Brothers, and the executive of Warner Brothers didn't greenlight it right away. Didn't greenlight it. Said, "Well, we don't know anybody anything. Just because it's Eastwood and he's been here all this time, we don't know him anything." Well, finally they came around to greenlighting the movie, no brainer. But this douchebag executive, okay, schmuck, how old are you? You're going to tell Eastwood
Right.
that you're not. If Eastwood wants to film a telephone commercial reading a phone book, you're going to do it,
Right.
or you can get the hell out. I just couldn't believe the hubris of this guy. Well, we don't know anybody anything.
Yeah, he's.
Okay, well, Eastwood built Warner Brothers, probably. You know what I mean?
Right.
I know he's had
You
an
got an
office.
office on the lot for a fucking reason, man. And
You know
probably,
what I'm saying?
probably a street named after him.
I don't
and-
mind.
Yeah.
We don't
I've
know
seen-
anybody anything. Okay.
Have you seen Ellen? Him being on Ellen whenever she walks over to his office or whatever. I mean, yeah. He's had his office.
Oh, yeah.
there for.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yes. I just couldn't believe. Well,
Right.
There's some of that going on with Dark City, but we'll.
All right,
Yeah,
one more.
One more.
Last one.
Okay.
And I heard this at the beginning of a podcast I was listening to yesterday, and I just thought it was the funniest thing. I've seen the movie, but I guess I remember the line from it. But anyway, I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum.
They live.
Yes.
Roddy
I
Piper. Roddy Piper.
I would not have
Yes.
got that. I know. As soon as you started saying, I knew Chris would have. I said, "Well,
oh, I
Chris,
thought you knew it.
no." I said, "Chris knows this because I've heard
good
him
one.
say
You've
it."
seen the movie because we've watched
That's
it
a good one.
Yeah,
a
it's a
couple
good
of
one.
times.
Rowdy Piper.
It's on my list. It's on my list to
okay.
review.
I
yeah.
like that movie.
Yeah.
John
all
Carpenter.
right. It's a Carpenter movie.
Yeah.
Oh, it is. Oh, and it has
Is it?
Just put on the damn glasses. They have a street fight in the. Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
doesn't
we're
have
reviewing.
Kirstie Alley in it. Is she in that one?
I don't remember.
Her first
She in
movie
that
was Wrath of Khan, so if it's before Khan, she wasn't.
one? I think it's after.
Because it
Khan,
says
but I don't know if she's in
introducing-
it or not. I hadn't seen it in a long time, but just
Yeah.
the fight, one of the best fights ever over some fucking sunglasses. Because
Yeah.
sunglasses allow you to see the aliens.
Yeah. I remember that. I guess
then-
I did see it because
And then his line,
Yeah.
yeah, about I'm here to kick ass, chew bubblegum.
I didn't know that's what it was
all
from.
out of bubblegum.
Yeah,
Oh,
I heard
that's
that yesterday,
awesome.
and I started laughing.
Nice.
But yeah, I remember that movie. I remember watching it on TV years ago.
Yeah, they live. Good stuff.
Okay. All right. Well, there's that. Well, I don't know how I can even say I'm an Eastwood fan at this point. I just
You got the character. He just, made
Yeah.
five movies or whatever.
right. All right. Dark City. We ready for Money Critics fans?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. Okay. These numbers are okay. And again, the whole Rotten Tomatoes thing, but I think this has a bigger following than even this maybe represents.
Does it? You sure about that?
I'm not sure. I want to believe it.
I read that it's considered a cult classic now.
Yeah. I've seen people call it the thinking man's sci-fi. I don't know.
it was like this obviously came before The Matrix.
Yeah. Now there is
A
some.
year before.
Yes.
You can see.
well,
It came first.
it did come first.
But like,
Now,
it's like they tried to do it and then The Matrix did it right or better.
sure.
or
Well,
whatever.
the rooftop chase scene in this, those buildings
The same
are
building.
the same buildings. They sold those to the Matrix set after the movie wrapped.
Yeah, it was a studio set in Australia, and so they were both filmed in the same place,
Yeah.
like parts of the movies.
So the buildings in Dark City are the buildings in a lot of them are in
what does it say in the
like Morpheus is hanging out in one of those buildings for sure.
The Crow, like the guy.
Oh, it looks the same. Yeah, same guy did. He
He-
did the Crow as well.
I was surprised at the movies he did, The Crow and iRobot, which I have.
iRobot's all right.
It's all right. Yeah.
You don't like the Crow, James?
I haven't seen it in forever.
Oh,
Well,
I
Brandon
really-
Lee died. He actually
Yeah,
died.
I
Yeah,
really like
kind
that
of a
movie.
bummer.
I
I
tried
like
watching
the-
it and I couldn't.
I like the graphic novel a lot too.
iRobot is not a robot. I was thinking of what's the movie with Will Smith with the zombies? What
I Am Legend.
Legend.
I Am Legend. Okay, I Am Legend is sort of remake of the Charlton Heston film Omega Man, which is based on a book. Anyway,
Yeah, Richard Matheson's I Am Legend.
yeah, but I was surprised that because I hadn't heard of Price, but then I looked at some of his movies. Oh, I own that one. I've seen that one. Okay, did the Knowing with Cage, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I'd seen that one too.
I didn't like that one.
I wasn't Jessica Biel in that one too? Or?
Probably.
Yeah,
How could you not like it with Jessica Biel?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She's smoking hot in that one anyway. That's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about Dark City, which is
Welcome back to the podcast.
yeah, right. 75% of critics gave it 3.5 stars, and 85% of the fans. That's 85 is approaching what I think it deserves. 75, I don't know. They probably, I don't know why critics didn't like it as much as fans. But over its life, I think it has maybe even higher numbers than that. That I want to believe that. I don't know if that's true. It has a budget of $27 million, and domestic it made $14 million, international made $12 million. So it cost $27 million. It made $27 million for a total gross of $316.
Damn.
Which surprised me. Alex Proyas is known to have, because I started looking at this, and there's a website called Bomb Report, which I guess does movies that bombed at the box office. I found that looking this up, but I did pull this quote from Alex Proyas, and you can sense some of his frustration. It was a box office disaster. It wasn't marketed well, and it just completely fell through the cracks. And that's probably exactly what happened.
Well, it seemed like they trimmed it and cut it, and then it was confusing, and then they added the
they thought it was confusing.
And
yes, the late great Roger Ebert. He's actually got a commentary on the Blu-ray. Okay, and took part in a frame-by-frame analysis. And when I say a frame-by-frame, for artistic reasons and everything, he was part of a panel that took this movie and advanced it frame by frame and analyzed the artwork, the background,
how long did that take?
Oh my God, I don't know. I can't imagine. And he provided commentary on the Blu-ray. He is a fan of this movie. Now, the director's cut eliminates this opening monologue, which I think is entirely the correct call. Because it's been a long time since I've seen it. And when that opening monologue kicked in, I'm like, what the hell why are you telling us all this?
Yeah, he lays it all out. And then it's laid out later, too.
Yeah, this is a...
Yes, 2 times.
Yeah, it's an alien colony, and
Yes.
blah, blah. It's like, okay, well, let's take all the mystery out of it.
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly. Because
exactly.
the reveal of seeing the dude, the one get his head cracked open and the thing come out, seeing that visual and that being the reveal that there's something not right
Yes.
here is way cooler than him saying,
it
I
is-
called them the strangers. And yeah.
Yes, it is very much a film noir, which is probably one of the reasons, we talk about why you picked this. Well, I am a huge fan of noir. I love Marlowe. I love Chandler, all that stuff. And this starts out as a very, very much a hard-boiled film noir piece. Okay? Dark all the time and mystery, but then you totally gut it with this monologue. Now, the monologue was a last-minute addition at the assistance of New Line Cinema, who were concerned that the audience wouldn't get it. Okay?
That's always the deal with the producers,
Yes.
The audience is, they're dumb. They're not going to get it.
Well, let me say, I had to turn on the captions because I couldn't get it. I couldn't understand what
well,
he
you
was
kept
saying.
falling asleep. You can't keep falling asleep and expect to get the
Well,
flow.
like I said, they said sleep.
Yeah,
So I
sleep
started-
now.
Yeah, sleep now. Boom.
Captions on at all times in my house.
Oh my gosh, I
I
had
can't
to.
hear without my
I watched it with captions as well, but that's just because Stacy was sleeping. I didn't want to wake her up.
Right.
But, so I turned it down a little bit and watched it.
Because Blade Runner does this. I think the voiceovers by Harrison Ford and Blade Runner are not informative. They're gratuitous and they're just a nuisance. So there's actually a cut where I guess you don't have them. I don't know. There's like 4 cuts of Blade
The
Runner.
director's
I think there's
cut.
5, sir.
5. Yeah, I got the box with all 5 in there, and I watch it like once a millennium. Whatever. Anyway, so we can look at this prologue and the information we get. It'll help set things up. But if you have not seen this movie, stop now and go watch it. But do not watch the theatrical release.
There's one bit of the voiceover at the beginning that I do like, and I think it's towards the end of his voiceover. And he and I guess again from watching the movie you would get this, but I guess I like the line where he's talking about I'm betraying my own kind.
yeah, right.
I like that line.
Yeah, I
But
do
as far
too.
as explaining all the shit that we see later on, and I think a lot of movies do this. A lot of movies that have either a voiceover or some sort of explaining shit.
Yeah.
Like, it annoys me because we see it again later on. Like
Yes.
they explain it to us, and then we have to sit there and be bored out of our minds or go to the bathroom. Why one of the characters gets the same shit.
Well, on the
explained to
way,
them. Well, if you're going to explain it twice, then take it away from the front.
yes.
Like the whole producer's argument of, they got to get it. It's fucking in there. Like all this stuff. That's exactly what I
Well,
would have said if I was this guy arguing,
Well, and-
the stuff that you have me write in here. He,
it must have been in his contract that he got a cut, right? And to have a director's cut, they have to agree to it or whatever. But
yeah.
it's this idea of letting the audience discover along the way what's
Right.
You want to put the audience right in the middle of it and let them be confused for a while and then piece it together. They're invested. You just tell everybody everything.
Right.
Yeah, that was the thing is he tells you in the monologue that they're switching places
Yeah.
and they're doing it every day. So when John Murdoch wakes up in a bathtub
Yeah.
and he can't remember anything, well, okay, well, we're just watching an experiment. I'm not invested in his story. I'm not invested in the murder.
Whereas
Yeah.
Whereas if you were with this guy, not knowing what he doesn't know, and you're stumbling along in the dark with him, and as he's piecing it together, you're piecing it. That's
Yeah.
yeah, So I have this whole paragraph where I think it's entirely superfluous. In the prologue, we learn the following things: there is an alien race as old as time itself. They possess the power to alter physical reality through willpower alone. They call it the tuning. Their civilization was in decline and their race was dying out. They left their home world in search of a cure for their mortality, which brought them to Earth. They are a hive mind species and speculated that the cure that they sought could be found in the individual nature of humanity. They abducted a significant portion of humanity, transported them to a massive construct resembling a human city, and harvested their individual memories where they could conduct experiments on them. These experiments involve moving these harvested memories around from person to person and observing how they act and react. Having harvested these memories, the human subjects have no actual memories of how they got there, where they came from, or who they truly are or were. One human is allowed knowledge of this, Dr. Schraber, who confesses he betrayed his own kind. I got to do my Beats music in a minute, but we're going to not.
What you just read, that was the blurb or that was the voiceover?
That's the voiceover. That's the information
Exactly.
that you get in the voiceover. I listed
Yeah,
them.
he tells you the whole fucking
The
movie.
whole fucking thing. And some executive at New Line was like, "Oh, I don't think they're gonna get it, man."
Well, maybe he kept falling asleep, man. And then every time he tried to screen the movie,
Maybe.
sleep now. Jim.
Yeah.
Damn it, Jim.
Anyway,
Hey, and I slept through these parts, so just go ahead and cut those out.
well, so
That's
it's
what
like
it seemed like.
it's like the big metal spider in Wild Wild West. I want a spider, man. Put the big metal spider in there. Why? Well, I like spider. Don't you think that'd be cool? Okay. Anyway,
You're paying for it.
Yeah.
Whatever.
because that was it was supposed to be part of some other movie that executive wanted, and he didn't get it, and now he's stuck it in Wild Wild West, right? And that's the story.
Is that what it is?
I think so. Yes.
That's the
Definitely felt out of place. That makes sense now.
Yes.
I forget which movie it was
Fucking
supposed to be.
Spider-Man.
Yeah. I don't either. I don't remember either.
If you know, the fans out there,
Yeah.
let us know.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's do the beats, because I don't even want to include this prologue as a beat, but there is this prologue. Watch the director's cut. Don't trust the artist, not the executive. Anyway, let's do the beats. All right.
Now, I guess what I read, just on that prologue and I guess versus the director's cut. So he takes the voiceover out, right? When I agree with you, that needs
Lopped
to
it
go.
off. Yeah.
That needs to go. But also, it's my understanding that with the director's cut, you lose the kind of the hook, because the first scene is everybody falling asleep at midnight, like whether you're behind the wheel of a car.
It's not
or you're-
Murdoch in the tub. I haven't watched the director's cut in a long time, and I
No,
didn't
I haven't
watch.
seen it. This is just what I read, but they said you lose that. No, the first, because the version we watched, it's you have the voiceover, right?
Yeah.
And you see Kiefer Sutherland, I guess, look at his watch or whatever.
Yes.
And then you see the whole city go to sleep, right? And whether you're behind the wheel or you're getting a haircut,
Oh,
or
yeah,
no matter
yeah.
what you're doing, you're going to sleep, talking
And
on
then
the
the
phone.
credits roll, and then you start.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so without the voiceover, you would just see that, and I agree. Either way, it's an interesting hook.
Well, I think that all happens, and then the opening credits roll of Dark
Yes.
City.
Yeah, in the director's cut, you lose all of that.
Yes, and so the movie should open with Murdoch in the tub. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, you like that better?
Oh yeah. Just
I like everybody just falling asleep, just because if you remove the voiceover, then you're like, what the fuck? Why is everybody going to sleep? Like, I'm hooked. I think it's.
No, I think all that, but I'd have to. I'm almost positive that after the Dark City, the music rising,
Right.
fade to black, and then it comes up and Murdoch's in the tub.
Yes.
Would you say, though, in this kind of mystery, having something that happens outside of the main character's orbit, like what's going on more than the main character knows what's going on?
Yeah.
In a mystery like that, like a murder mystery
Yeah.
that turns into something else, wouldn't it be preferential for the viewer not to have that information of
Yes.
what's going on until the main character does?
I think so.
Yes, because if you're ahead as the audience, if you're ahead of the character in a murder mystery, you're like, oh my god, why isn't this guy catching?
Yeah.
up?
Why isn't it?
Yeah. So you see the doctor check his watch, everybody fall asleep, and then you see Rufus Sewell, whatever the character's name
John
is.
Murdoch. Yeah.
John Murdoch wake up in the tub. Like, we should be waking up with
Well,
Murdoch
I
in
think
the tub.
I think Proyas and the writer had to have imagined we're going to lead the audience one way, and then we're going to pull the rug from their feet. This guy wakes up in a tub. film noir, mystery, blah, blah, blah. In a few minutes, we're going to pull the rug out from under their feet when they see an alien. Now, anything can happen. And that's, you know, a rug pull or whatever.
Yeah.
That is gutted, I think.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that. I guess I like the hook of just it's just the images are really, really cool. All these people falling asleep, you know, like, because they're collapsing on the sidewalk and then inside shops and behind the wheel of the cars and just all the cars come to a stop.
It's how soon you want to reveal that this is not straight up murder mystery. Because
I got you. Yeah, if you just start with okay.
Both are artistic choices that I would be in favor of.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. It starts very Sam Spade, Philip Marlowe, Marlowe, and then whoa, what the fuck?
Yeah, very dark room, that light swinging, and everything is, you know, it's never. When was the last time you remember doing something during the day? You know, how did I? Anyway, so that. Anyway, I think we're all in agreement.
Did you guys say what kind of movie this was? Was it Dude with the Problem?
Genre?
Or is it Monster in the House?
I think it's neither.
Yeah, I think I have it down here.
I think it's superhero.
What did I wrote it down.
Yeah.
Okay, so I did not pick that. I looked at it. Let me see. Hold on.
That makes total sense because there at the end, I was like, "Is this a Superman movie?"
Well,
back to the Matrix. Back to the Matrix thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so all right.
He's Neo saving humanity, right?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Because he's the only one that can tune.
Looked. Yes, his special powers definitely would lead you that way. I think I almost have to because
it says I guess shit.
Yeah, go ahead.
Superhero says the hero of your tale must have a special power, even if it's just a mission to be great or do good.
Yeah.
Number 2, the hero must be opposed by nemesis of equal or greater force, who's a self-made version of the hero.
Yep.
And then 3, there must be a curse for the hero that he either surmounts or succumbs to as the price for.
I think all 3 are solid.
I think that's right there.
So what'd you have? Because I was thinking Dude with the Problem initially, or even Why Done It, but.
I looked at Why Done It, but we're given why for 5 minutes.
Seconds, yeah.
Yeah.
Way to go, Kiefer.
I have institutionalized.
Ooh.
A group,
What
humanity, a choice, burn it down, suicide or sacrifice, a group, a choice, and a sacrifice. And so for that, I have a group, humanity, a choice, burn it down, join, or suicide, because Walensky will choose suicide. And I think Bumstead, the detective, becomes the sacrifice. He dies at the end. And Murdoch burns it down and remakes it.
By turning it to the sun.
That's
literally what I said. Oh, spoiler alert, we're not there yet. But
yeah.
At the end, when it turns, I was like, and he just cooked everybody. As you turn to the sun from the darkness of space to the sun. Well,
there appears to be some force field around it, because when Bumstead goes out, he's floating, but you can see him.
He goes through something.
You can see him,
and something cold in the water once he fills the water.
Yes, but you can see him go through some kind of field surrounding to provide air and this kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah. But James is absolutely correct. Unchill, just sizzle
from sun to no sun, no matter what you are, is cooking.
And I would have to assume that he's going to rotate that where there are now day and night.
And then he's going to have flat earthers on there saying this place is flat. No, it's round.
Oh, yes, that's all true.
3 months later, everyone died of skin cancer.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think
so. It's finally a sacrifice, right? You said must be made, leading to one of 3 endings: join, burn it down, or commit suicide. So which ending did he do then? Because he didn't.
He burned it down.
He burned it down.
He burned down the institution.
Made his own though. Okay, all right.
Yes.
Yeah.
The sacrifice I want to say is Bumstead, because he dies, but
who's the company man? Just the guys, the strangers.
Mr. Hand.
Who's the what?
Mr. Hand was like
for the second one on institutionalized. It's because it's his nemesis. His nemesis. Nemesis has got to be a company man. It says right, because that's the institution that you're burning down or joining or whatever.
Yes. That would be, aliens are the institution.
Okay,
but Mr. Hand is like the main villain of the institution.
Mr. Book, yeah.
Well, both. Yeah,
Mr. Hand is
the guy that's chasing him the whole time.
Yeah,
and he's what Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Is that who that is?
Actor.
I believe that's
he's the actor.
All right. Interesting.
Anyway, so
I didn't think about that one. That's interesting.
But the superhero is rock solid. Man. So.
Well, I thought it was Dude with a Problem because I don't know what I'm doing.
Well, no. Listen, Dude with a Problem is almost always right, because any hero in a story has a problem. Absolute 100%. Right. It's always the de facto, right? But
yeah.
But the fact that all 3 of us can can support what we're saying. I think, and some of that you get with sci-fi and I don't want to say artistic films because I don't think it's that highfalutin. I think it's accessible to anybody, but I think it does bear thoughtful analysis. And so at that point, I think you can have 2 or 3 genres and be right.
Right.
I do.
I'll call it. I think it was a not my cup of tea
Yeah,
movie.
sure, right.
Nice.
It's a whole different kind of category.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was Stace feels the same way. So she saw the trailer and she goes, "Nope."
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I feel that way about,
Any musical
any
out
music.
there, I'm like, "Nope."
Any movie with the word steel or magnolias in it, I probably,
Or fried and green and tomatoes.
it's just right.
Bed of Roses.
Oh God, crying sister circle. Anyway, opening image. And I thought this was good. At some point in some stories, you could say, okay, the writer is thinking, okay, and lining stuff up. Opening image: Murdoch, naked, confused, alone, unsteady, out of his element. I say symbolized brilliantly by this fish out of water image, which immediately follows. He out of the bathtub, the fish out of the bowl. I thought, man,
Yep.
way to instill confidence in me and the audience that we are in capable hands, to the point where Murdoch is unsteady, is flopping around, is gasping.
Right.
Same as, it's a mirror
like the
image
fish,
in that
yeah.
fish. Yeah.
And then he even has a save the cat moment when he puts the fish,
Yes.
in the
And that's
tub or
what
whatever.
the detective says is, what kind of murderer stops to pick up a fish.
Fish.
Yes.
Yeah.
Save a fish. We are given foreshadowing here, and maybe I make more of this than needs to be, but he helps the fish into the water. He will help his fellow humans have a future by turning water all around Dark City and creating Shell Beach, almost putting humanity back in their bowl kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because
Because these beings
They have an aversion to water or phobia, you
Yes.
could say, is what he says later on.
all this moisture, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
The night was moist.
And it is.
It was. I definitely noticed that. And he's obviously they couldn't show everybody doing everything, but I feel like he's the only one in water too. Out of all the people that are falling asleep and doing their different,
Yes.
daily activities, he's the one in water. He's the one that's different.
Maybe that's the thing. Maybe out of all these experiences, I just thought of this. Maybe out of all of the tests that they've been doing on these individuals, he's the only one that at midnight he was in water. And
Yeah.
for some reason, that gave him the
Yeah,
power.
could be.
Maybe
Because
like
he-
the first time they did it, because they can move him around, right?
Yeah,
Theoretically,
they're
he
moving
would
around.
be.
And just in this experiment,
He's getting a haircut, and the haircut guys get in the water,
Right.
in the tub
Yeah.
at some point, right? If they move, and that was always confusing me. Do they move everybody, or do some people?
I think it's just
people.
something they select different people.
like a handful at a time.
Yeah, because not everybody in this, like Bumstead has probably been a detective for a long time,
Yeah.
but he can't remember. Well, none of them can remember. We're not given an indication that he was ever. Someone
Ever
makes a
anything
reference
else?
that somebody, you could wake up being anything, even a detective. So there is some indication that Bumstead may have been
Something else.
something
yeah.
else at one point, but I think it's been a while since he's been manipulated for experimentation or whatever.
Sure.
He has fragmented memories of Shell Beach, and I didn't really think of it till this viewing, this whole idea of Shell Beach. And so I wrote, Shell to me means shell game. And so for fun and giggles, shell game, a game involving sleight of hand in which 3 inverted cups or nutshells are moved about, and contestants must spot which is the one with the pea or other object contained in. So I think Shell Beach is intentional because they are playing a shell game with people's memories, with people's lives, and nobody. And at some point, he will get on a subway and try to find Shell Beach. Oh, you need the express line as he's watching. So Shell Beach is the marble he's looking for, which is the key to his memories.
yeah.
And it's being swapped all around. Shell Beach, shell game. I thought if they didn't do
that's
that,
good.
they
Yeah,
should.
didn't
even
catch
the
that, but yeah.
people and their memories and everything is a shell game.
Yes.
People in their proximities.
They're
and
they're
house,
physically
yeah.
moving around like the.
That's
No, that's good.
Good
Yeah,
take.
I think you're onto
Yeah.
something.
So I thought that was cool. This is still in the setup, yeah? Yeah. Schraber calls him, says he wants to help him, but he must flee to avoid capture. So immediately, this is where I thought if they'd just done this, it's pretty good because now the audience is playing catch up, and that's good. There are actually 2 factions pursuing him: the strangers because the imprinting was ineffectual, and Bumstead and Law because he is now a suspect in the Hooker murders.
They show it later on, but just real quick during the prologue when the city goes to sleep.
Yeah.
They show a movie theater and it says now showing The Evil
The evil, yes.
coming soon, Book of Dreams.
Yeah.
And they call that later or whatever, but I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah, no, I looked at that and I wanted to try to make something of that because
It's about sleeping and waking and dreams.
yes,
Right.
yeah, very cool. But now I don't know why. Maybe it means nothing, but because at the very end, she's working at the theater and Book of Dreams is playing.
Yeah.
Also, but in the first time you see Book of Dreams, the O is missing. It's B missing OK of Dreams, and in the remade universe, it's all pristine and it's Book of Dreams. I don't think that means anything. I couldn't tell you why, but
Yeah, right.
yeah, and
Maybe it was just something amiss
Yes.
in this place.
I got to say something.
yeah,
If you do watch this movie, please make sure you are awake, because I just realized that when I was falling in and out of sleep, it becomes a lot more confusing.
oh, sure.
Because I fell asleep when the man at the desk was saying, "You need to your wallet's
Oh yeah,
such a
cash on the barrelhead.
yeah." And then I wake up
And it's another guy.
It's another guy, and I'm like, I think I just
Well, you were like meta on this movie because you were your memories were like you're being shell gamed on that. I guess
so.
maybe you should watch it. Just go to sleep every 20 minutes and wake up, and you'll have a whole different experience.
Right.
It
this movie.
was. Oh my gosh.
Every time the
Okay.
trench coat stranger guys show up, Sherry's like, these guys make me so
So sleepy.
sleepy.
Well, when they were flying,
Yeah.
I was really creeped out.
Sure.
I woke up a little bit more with that. I was like, oh, I don't like that.
Yes. Early on, we do have some powerful symbols. Another powerful symbol is given: Schreiber's rat in the maze, coupled with the statement that Murdoch is in search of himself. This parallels the storming the castle scene at the end. So this rat is running around in the cage as an experiment. At the very end, they are moving through the alleyways and channels of the outer walls of Dark City
Yeah.
and come up to a dead end. That maze they're going through, I think, parallels the rat in the maze. So you're given the idea: shell game. All these humans are rats in the maze. They're contestants, and Walensky will say, "There's no way out. No way out." You know,
Right.
I found a way, and then he commits suicide or whatever. We are introduced to Inspector Bumstead. He says something that's kind of telling when the cop says, "I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here, Inspector. I just take what they give me," which is absolutely true.
Right.
Everybody is just taking what they're given because they don't know.
And then he shows him, your shoelaces are untied. Yes, sir. So even in his small introduction is,
He's very methodical and observant.
yeah, he's going to catch
Yes.
whatever's going
Now,
on.
if you notice at the end of the movie, his
shoes untied.
Bumstead's shoes untied. He's not at that point. He is off the rails and out of his zone and
Right.
is unsure of what is going on. So I thought that was very cool, from shoelace to shoelace. Schreiber will say he's in search of himself, trying to track Murdoch through his wife. Murdoch says, yes, Schreiber will say he's in search of himself. This parallels storming the castle. From the rat in the maze symbol, we move it directly. So the scene ends with the rat scurrying around the cage. Very next cut is Murdoch pacing up and down the street trying to get his name. And at some point he actually says John Murdoch, but of course it doesn't register.
Yeah, he's trying to feel like, oh yeah, my mouth has
Jack-
said that before.
Yeah, Jack Murdoch, pleased to meet you. Jake, how you doing? You know, trying to, because he's got this.
Jay
Now,
Murdoch. all
Jay
he knows
Murdoch.
is
See
Jay.
the dead hooker in the apartment that he wakes up in, and that's already happened, right? And he
Yeah, she has the
Please.
swirls all over him, and
Yes.
he's running.
Yes. Again, a symbol of the maze, but
yeah.
we learn later that little kid, I can't remember what his name was, Mr. Somebody, but psychotic. He
Yeah, he was the crazy Kelvin.
kill him, yeah, bites,
Yeah.
yeah,
Creepy.
little, yeah.
Little bastard.
So Schreiber says that he is in search of himself in the maze. Cut to Murdoch, he's pacing, and he says something when the street cleaner is looking at him like he's weird. I got to get a grip on myself. So there is this very much parallel of he's searching for himself, and Murdoch is admitting this. I got to
Yeah.
get a grip on myself.
I didn't catch that. Yeah.
Yeah. We introduced to Bumstead. I just think with the beginning of Murdoch, maybe. Okay, so we'll get to that in a second. So the movie is moving along two tracks. The strangers are seeking him, and so is law enforcement for these murders. Now, I forgot this happened. Because as far as Murdoch being able to tune, I thought it came much later. But he's looking for his wallet, and he tunes and breaks that automat flipper to get his wallet.
Yeah,
out.
the coin operated
Yeah.
food vending service. Because I didn't know what an automat was. Apparently, it's a food vending.
Yeah, he's put like a carrot and a cake in there, and you put a quarter.
And the weird part is I know like in the trivia or whatever, but they made the the era, I guess you'd say. You couldn't tell if it was the 1930s,
Well-
1940s, 1950s.
Well, they talk
so-
about that in the movie later on.
Yeah.
'Cause,
Yeah,
they
so-
pulled it from everybody's memories.
From different times.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that when he went to that audit, I was like, I've never seen one of those places where they put food up, you put the coin operated thing in, lift the door.
Yeah. And the cops look like they're from the 30s or 40s.
Yeah.
Those, they're not.
It is kind of weird. Like, I just don't talk about it. I don't mean to poke holes, but like, why would the guy put his wallet behind? So I have all your money. It's right here in your wallet, and I'm
Yeah.
going to put it behind this thing that you need money to access.
Yeah, I think this guy is.
What is it?
His job is to put the food
Yeah,
in the
here's,
thing.
here's your wallet. And then
how
he's
did
moving
his
on
wallet-
to sandwiches and
He's
carrots
not
and-
interested in when was I here when you left your wallet? When did I leave my wallet? Last time you were here.
Here.
He doesn't
Yeah.
want to be bothered.
Right.
Well, that's the thing. So yeah, after that, I'm guessing I'm putting the pieces together. It's like when they did that midnight shift.
Yeah.
Whatever guy they put in there, they implanted the memories.
Sure, yeah.
This guy left his wallet. Here's the wallet that he left.
Yeah, he probably doesn't remember
He's
when
going to come back looking for it.
and
Yeah.
doesn't want to take the time to try to explain
Because
it.
they're trying to set him up with these memories, with everything as a murderer. They're
Yes.
going to investigate a murderer type of thing.
Yes. Yes.
And once I was like, oh,
Yeah, because they want to give him the memories of a murderer and see if he becomes a
and
murderer.
put him in the
Yes.
position to be murdered.
And he will say, we'll get to this, but he'll say when he is trying to track down who he is, he finally gets his wallet and gets his address and he goes, and I have a wife, if this is where I'm supposed to live, if you're supposed to be my wife, supposed to be my wife, so she's more sure at that point.
Right.
He says something to the effect of, I don't know who I am, but I didn't kill that girl and I know I'm not a murderer or something. So he doesn't know who he is, but he knows he's not that kind of thing.
Right.
Because he says, I went there to see if I could do that and I couldn't.
Yeah, test myself.
I don't know who I am, but that's not me.
Yeah, because right after at the automat, some cops stop him and harass him a little bit, and then the girl shows up, and
Yes.
the hooker, and he
Takes
goes
it back, yeah.
he goes with her.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, there's a killer around. Yeah, you don't look like a killer.
Right, as she's
Right.
getting undressed, ready for work.
We are introduced to Walensky. Now, this is not necessarily her, but he's got to be a half man, yes?
Yeah, he's out.
Yeah.
He's happy.
Yeah.
I find now that I know what a half man is,
You're like, you're every time
yeah,
happy.
oh, this guy.
And somebody pointed out, and it's absolutely true, everything Walensky says is 100% true.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he may be crazy, but it's probably because he realizes what's going on.
Yeah.
But he definitely seems crazy because he's saying all this crazy shit that nobody else believes.
What I didn't get is why weren't the strangers hunting him down? Why hadn't they taken care of him? Like, why are they letting him just run around and rant and stuff?
Because I don't think he can tune. So
he can't tune. Yeah.
So he's harmless because at some
Nobody
point,
believes him. Like if people
Yeah,
started
nobody
taking
believes
stock,
him.
and if he was on the corner preaching and people were listening, then they would take care of him.
yeah, but nobody is, and they'll say occasionally this happens, and we find them wandering around like children.
Oh yeah, they do say that.
They say
yeah,
that.
Yeah,
But this one
yeah. He
can tune, and that's sort of raised the bar on.
Yeah, so they thought he would just be another guy.
Yeah, which they probably right.
Okay.
Chase him down, put the memories in his head, and continue the experiment.
Yes, that's what they want to do, but now they figure they have a bigger problem. That's the setup. The strangers encounter him, and he escapes via his newfound abilities. He encounters Bumstead, and with the aid of Emma, escapes, saying, "Who's going to listen to him?" Yeah, so he's trying to track this down. When he comes out, Bumstead is there waiting for him, and he says something telling who's going to listen to a madman. The debate. So I'm having this as the debate. The debate seems to be: who am I? Am I mad? Am I a killer? Am I a husband? Do these roles make me who I am? These memories, because he's trying to figure out.
Oh, yeah.
I have these memories, but is that who I am? No, that's not me.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be my wife if you are, but am I? So that seems to be what he's debating.
Yeah, I mean,
Which I
in
think
a
is-
way, I guess his callous could almost be from the very get go. Like it's amnesia. I don't know who the fuck I am.
Yeah, that's true because
I don't know who I am, and oh shit, they think I'm a murderer too.
yes,
And I don't know that I'm not a murderer. I don't think I am.
yeah,
but-
because in that sense, the movie starts with the movie starts with the catalyst. He gets the call. A catalyst is usually the call to adventure, and I like when it's a physical phone call, and I think that happens within the first couple of seconds.
Yeah,
So that's
Shri were calling him. Yeah.
yeah. So that's maybe that's why I didn't see one here because
Yeah, I was looking for one later, but yeah, that's probably it.
yeah, and so he spends a lot of time
His
debating.
ordinary world's sleeping in the bathtub.
Yes,
His ordinary world's asleep.
Amnesia. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. That is good. All right, so the debate continues. Bumstead, I guess Walensky was maybe in charge of this case, but became completely unhinged and was put off the case. And so Bumstead goes to Walensky to get his files. He finds his office and he says, "What did I do to deserve this?" or whatever, because everything is in chaos. So he goes to Bumstead goes to Walensky who seems obsessed and insane. And again, this reference to the maze. I'm riding the city in circles, and there's no way out. The rat in the maze discovers there's no way out. Bumstead.
That's not my wife. I don't know who she is.
I don't know who she is. Yeah, absolutely, and everything. But that's all true. But Bumstead further visits Schreiber and questions him. So he's following clues. The doctor's card is dropped that he picks up when Murdoch has fled. So this is, I think, the form of the debate. Who am I? What are these memories? That's not me. Still trying to solve the mystery. And now, originally I had a break into 2 much earlier in this, and I checked the time, and I'm like, no, that can't be it. And so I pushed it back. What did you have as your break into 2?
I had it when he runs away from Bumstead out after talking to the wife outside the apartment.
Yeah.
Right? Because I guess in my head I was thinking, okay, they think I'm a murderer. I'm running, but also felt like a good kind of possible if it's later is when Schreiber comes to him and tells him a little bit about his power and stuff because he uses it to tune and push Schreiber across the. He's like, because that's what I guess I feel like that's the first mention of. You can use I can teach you to use these powers. You can save them or whatever. We got to have time. Like he starts talking about that at that point. More than just figure out who you are and whether you're a murderer or not.
Yeah.
Like I guess I was trying to figure out, is that just fun and games or is that a break?
Yeah. Because I paused when I initially had pegged my fun and games. I checked the time and I'm like, no, that can't be. That's too early. And so then I watched a little bit more and I pegged another one, break into 2. And it's about 35 minutes. I said, okay, that seems about right.
What'd you have?
The upside down world of the second act is literally the world turned upside down as the time of the next tuning arrives. All go to sleep except for Murdoch, who walks screaming through the city for everyone to wake up. And so at this point, he's been questioning, debating, trying to figure out. But at this point, he takes affirmative action by going and threatening and actually assaulting Schreiber. What's going on? Tell me what's going on. And he uses his tuning and throws him across the street.
Yeah.
And that's about 35 minutes. I said, well, that seems more right to me.
I think it is right. Yeah. Because I had some of that, like witnessing, wake up, witnessing the tuning as part of the, if you'd already broken into as part of the fun and games, but that's still, especially if the movie's done right and you remove the prologue, that's the first time we see that. That's still set up. That's still explaining what the fuck's going on in this weird world. So
yeah, I thought myself, like as soon as it hit midnight and the clock started twisting in the whole city, I was like, okay, we're in the second act now. It's turning into the upside down world.
Yeah. Now, I did have a problem with the B story. Is it either Emma or Schreiber? Who do you? I think Emma's the love interest, but Schreiber is the one that brings him around.
That's what
I thought it was Schreiber, and that's the weird part I was going to bring up is that the dialogue in the prologue of Kiefer Sutherland telling you what's going on.
Yeah.
And then it turns out that he's just a B character, like he's the B story.
Yeah.
That bugged me. I'm like, why are you having a B story character?
Right. You thought it should have been the main guy?
Yeah, it should have been the main guy. Like, I woke up in a bathtub and I don't know what's going on.
Typical Noir stuff.
Yes,
it's the main guy narrating it. Yeah.
Yes.
That's again speaks to it being tacked on at the end.
Yeah.
Hey, Kiefer, here's an extra $500. Do you mind?
Come on in and
he's like, it's $500 a word.
You're right. Yes. So at that point, I'm into the
cadence was very weird in the movie.
Halting and
yeah. I mean, obviously on purpose, but yeah.
Well, I liked how it. And
he's limping in his eye. I guess it's because they whooped his ass at the beginning.
End. The reveal at the end shows that he had to do all that.
Yeah, he was bad shape.
Yeah, they'd beat him up. Yeah. He resisted and lost, I guess. Yeah.
So then we're into fun and games.
So he's kind of a half man too.
Yeah.
Yes, I think so. Yeah. The strangers. So I guess now we're into the fun and games. The strangers imprint one of their own to track Murdoch. Murdoch tracks Carl Harris.
This has never worked before.
Yes. The sender of the postcard plays the shell game of Shell Beach. She's riding the subway. Can't seem to get on the right subway. You want the express. Everybody knows where. Everybody's been to Shell Beach, but nobody can tell them.
Right. Yeah, you just you go.
Is
it over the bridge or is it west on?
Nobody can find it. Walensky meets Murdoch and tells him about the shell game. And he actually everything he said. Like I said, every time he talks, it's all true. Tells him about the shell game being played and offers his own solution to the puzzle. Jumps in front of the. So his only way out was to kill himself.
Yeah.
Which at that point. And that's why I started thinking institutionalized.
Okay, I'm about to say.
And it never explained how they deal with death there. Like, can they just take his body and
Well,
back together and put a new brain in him.
one of the aliens says, we use your dead as vessels.
Yeah,
So that little blue thing that comes out of the guy's head.
that's what they really look like. So yeah, that guy, that would have been kind of cool to see Valinsky as one of them later on.
Oh,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that would have been good.
No.
So apparently these bodies are dead people that they've.
So that means the little kid got hit by a car or something.
Well,
Or
like,
drowned
but they're
or
always
whatever,
they're always whipping out these knives like they're gonna stab him. It's like, okay, well, you're all stuck here. We could just reprogram you. Why are we gonna kill? Why are we gonna stab you?
Yeah, right. I think it was menacing. I mean,
Sure, it definitely is menacing, and we don't know what's going on. Sure,
but
now
if
that
they
you
can
do.
tune, anyway, yeah.
Yeah, what do you need the knives for when you can just tune?
Yeah.
Now, midpoint I have as a false defeat. Is that what you had? What do you have as your?
No, I had false victory.
Okay. On his quest for answers, he visits Carl. And I guess this is something I don't understand. Early on, he finds the suitcase that says KH, and
He
that's
immediately throws it away.
yeah. Why does he do that?
Yeah.
What's
I didn't understand
I
that
never
either.
did get that. Anyway, Carl Harris, I guess what is his grandfather or uncle?
uncle.
Uncle.
Wait, hold on. He finds that in the
Motel.
motel with the dead hooker.
Yeah,
Maybe he thinks, and he doesn't know who he is. Maybe he thinks that's me. This is evidence of
Oh,
who
yeah,
I
yeah,
am
yeah.
when we get rid of this shit.
Yeah, that could be.
Maybe.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But was that part of his? No, that was part of his new future life. Like they were setting up
Could be, yeah.
KH. Like here's his briefcase. Here's his thing. KH is going to be.
Now
the
he's going to be
killer.
Carl Harris.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe.
Yeah, that could be too. All right, so
Yeah,
we'll-
because he knew what was his last name?
Murdoch.
Murdoch.
He knew he was Jay Murdoch
Because of the hotel.
hotel,
manager.
yeah.
No.
Yeah, still carrying the KH. That's
So they were going to switch everybody around, and
probably
yeah.
no. That makes
It's
sense
part of the confusion.
because you see him down in the lower parts making various items that they're going to plant for people's lives.
Yes. Yeah.
A
They
dark
list
Santa's
it,
workshop.
Yeah, right. That's good. Yeah,
We need family photos. We need documentation.
yeah. All right, so I'll tell you what
Definitely
my
what it
false
was.
defeat is, and then you can.
Yeah. All right.
What were you going to say? Sorry.
I just said it right.
Yeah, no. Okay. On his quest for answers, he visits Carl, learns his past. Now, there was a fire in his youth and he was burned and scarred, only there isn't any scar now. In trying to learn the truth, he only learns that everything is a lie, and he actually screams this. What does it mean? What does it mean, John? Everything's a lie. So, to me, it's a false defeat because he goes to get his answers and he thinks he has the answers. Okay, now I'm getting somewhere. But then there's the scar, no scar, and he's defeated. He's like, okay, I thought I had my answers, but it's all a lie.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's probably better when I have, because I have him like, I guess it's probably too late when Bumstead saves him. Like they're chasing him, and he gets in the car, like it's false victory because he gets away, but then they immediately bad guys close in because they come into the station,
Yeah,
and has the memories, been imprinted with the memories of a murder. So now he's just fucking killing people left and right. Now that guy is Mr. Hand.
yes.
Mhm.
Oh, right. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I didn't put, I guess, enough stock in the reveal with Uncle Carl and shit, and then yeah. So that sounds better to me.
Well,
Yeah, because then he turns him in, basically makes the phone call and
yes.
says,
Yeah, that's going to
here.
be some of my yes.
Yeah, which could be bad guys close in.
Yeah, I think I
starting
have
with
some-
Uncle Carl. So yeah, I think you're right.
I have some of that as the bad guys close in. Emma goes to the hooker's house to talk to her, and Bumstead meets her there, and Uncle Carl calls, and then Bumstead I was trying to remember the sequence of events. Bumstead takes her home. Carl calls her and says he's here,
Yep.
and Emma, out of concern, I guess, tells Bumstead, and Bumstead says, "I can't promise anything," and they are now going to go get him at Carl's. Meanwhile, Mr. Han, or one of the guys who's been imprinted, is watching through the window, learns of Carl. This is how it all comes together. And I had to watch that again this morning because I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
The city literally changes under Murdoch's feet, and the strangers catch up to Murdoch. Bad guys close in is what I'm having as that.
Yeah, and I mean, and they did a little bit of it, but to me, it would have been, I guess, just rules of the world. It would have been a little bit cooler to see them use the tuning more.
Yeah.
Like when he's hanging from the window ledge and the kid has the knife, but decides to get down and bite him.
Bite him.
I
He's
guess,
psychotic.
instead.
Little monster.
Right, and then there's part of the building that's going up.
Yeah.
Because the guys down in the basement doing this little chant thing, those are the guys that are tuning and,
Yes.
and moving the
The hive
world.
mind is making the whole city all at once. Yeah.
All right, but so they're hive mind, so they can all see everything.
One would assume.
Yeah. So just Murdoch jumps on the part of the building that's moving up, right?
Yeah.
And gets away from the kid. Well, why didn't the kid just extend the window or use the world? If you can fucking move that window. He's running away from you.
Yeah.
Have the stairs turn into a fucking wall. Now he can't. You know what I mean? That would have been cool if they'd done more.
Kind of like Doctor Strange and
Yes, very much so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have
Or
been cooler if they'd
Inception.
done stuff like that.
It does go
but
to the rules of the world thing.
They do it
though,
a little bit, especially in the fight at the end. I feel like he's starting to use the environment around him.
Yes.
It's kind of, y'all brought up the point earlier. Why do you need knives and shit? But
Well, that
it would have been cooler if the strangers who are familiar with this had done
Yeah.
that. I get Murdoch not doing it right away.
That was the only thing. It's like, what does tuning do other than manipulation? Because like he makes a door and walls, and then they move the stuff, and then it blows people backwards. Like it doesn't explode them, doesn't take their heads off. It just pushes them backwards.
Yeah, it's manipulate physical. I don't know. Yeah.
No, but if you can do all that, then push the guy backwards and trap him behind a brick wall.
Yeah.
Push that
Sure.
brick through his fucking brain.
Well,
I mean,
and
all
like,
kinds of cool
uh,
But
stuff.
this is James' thing. You don't make Superman take the stairs,
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like in Doctor Strange, when he pushes Doctor Strange against, Infinity War, you might not have seen it, but one of the bad guys takes Doctor Strange up and then manipulates the building to hold him
Oh, that's
down.
cool.
And then he's like, all right, I'm going to rip this off you. That's what
Yeah.
these guys, in my thought, should have done.
Should've
But this
done
is
it.
way
Yeah.
before any
Yeah.
of that. But
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, there weren't a lot of there's all kinds of stuff though. Yeah, have a window shatter and then now shards of glass are flying at people.
Exactly.
Or something. Yeah, all kinds of cool stuff. Yeah.
But yes,
Yeah.
don't let Superman take the stairs. Exactly.
Yeah. Well, you want to talk about the stranger who got squished by the building? I'm like, take your jacket off, dude. You know,
Right.
he's trying to pull.
Yeah, or tune the shit and stop it from getting
Sure.
smashed. Yeah.
That's what I would thought.
Tune an
make it
open
look-
window where
So
you
now you're in a fucking elevator going down away from it. There's all a million
Yeah,
things you
no,
could have done.
this
That would
Yeah.
that would make
I did like the splashes of blood though, of very dark blood every time they die. I like
That was
that.
cool.
But
yeah.
that would make the stakes so much higher if these things were much harder to kill.
Sure.
In my opinion, like
No,
if
it
they
would.
were able to manipulate that out, it's like, oh my god, the stakes are so high. How is he going to fix this?
Right. And it's
But they don't.
it is the danger of having almost omnipotent powers. Now, you know, how much is too much? How much makes it too much and easy? And so I think you can have these problems when you create
And you
powers.
could
like-
even make it, are they a hive? I mean, I just not thought about this. Like you could have made it where some of them only have certain powers. You can only, almost like an X-Men thing. You can only move metal. You can only move
Sure.
fucking wood, or that way to limit it, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because if they can all,
Because there's only a group of them that can change the world.
there's always a group after them, right? And a group's gonna change the world. So maybe,
Yeah.
Sure.
with our combined powers,
But here
Well,
we are
the-
writing the story afterwards.
individually, I think they can manipulate, but it takes all of them to change
The
that whole
big
city.
stuff, yeah.
So I don't, maybe
Yeah.
some of that isn't out. I don't know, but all this is valid because it is very dangerous when you come up with almost omnipotent powers like that.
yeah, not even to poke holes in your stuff, man. But
Well,
I just had that thought. Like it would have been cooler, like more fun, enjoyable set pieces. Is what I
Sure,
guess was my initial point. Bad
Stra-
guys close in.
yeah, bad guys. So the strangers catching under all is lost. That was a false victory. Murdoch manages to open Bumstead's eyes about what is going on to some degree. What is the last thing you remember doing during the day? How do you explain this? He's floating the book. Now Bumstead is beginning to come on board.
Yeah, because he gets mad at him.
Yeah.
The other, so now that we've reached that part,
Yeah.
Bumstead, he carries around an accordion.
Yes. He plays
Why?
it at some point.
Why? It
His
could have
opening image,
been.
he's playing it.
It could have been a harmonica.
Yeah, why this
It could have
big
been
box?
a stopwatch. It could have been anything, but it's a fucking.
It's beautiful, but it is a huge instrument that probably weighs 50 pounds.
See, and tell you the truth, I don't even know when I got it.
How do you think I could forget a thing like that? But yeah, freaking.
Yeah, she should have been like, I don't
Maybe-
know, because that thing's fucking huge, man.
It's God Almighty.
Maybe he really played it. What is the actor's name?
William Hurt.
But
But I think does a great job.
That's
in this.
cool. No, that's cool.
It is a very strange choice.
It's
Yes.
a strange choice. It could have been anything else.
He's reading the script. So this says harmonica. Can we change that to an accordion,
taking
guys?
accordion
I'm
lessons.
not
Let me
doing this
show
role
off.
unless we change it to accordion. Okay, Mr. Hurt.
I've been listening to a lot of Weird Al lately.
Yeah, of course.
It is weird.
It
Yeah.
is very strange.
But he's coming around. He's now believing it because
Yeah.
when's the last time you did something in the daylight? Or
Yes.
did he ask?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm probably reaching down. Accordion does this, yeah?
Yeah,
Goes in and out.
Yeah.
I don't know. Change of shape. I don't know. I'm probably reaching.
yeah.
Probably reaching.
Yeah.
Dark Night of the Soul. Murdoch is separated from his wife, who is convinced that they really.
Bumstead separated from his accordion. Go ahead.
She is convinced that they really were and are in love. the betrayal never happened and he is not a murderer. She says,
Can't make something like that up.
you can't make, we were in love. You can't make something like that up. I initially thought he said, yes, you can, but he said, no, you can't. And then he separated from her. The whiff of death, I think Bumstead learns of Walensky.
Whoa, you skipped something.
What I skip?
He shatters the glass and no one reacts whatsoever.
Oh, yeah,
He
yeah.
showers her with fucking glass pieces.
Now,
So he can reach across and touch her, right?
Yeah.
She doesn't react. The fucking guards don't react. Nobody.
yeah,
Nobody
nobody
get a little moment and then he gets dragged away. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah. And to be honest, and you're right, it never occurred to me. I don't know why.
You're just like,
into
oh,
the-
they're doing
even
this
this-
now.
You're just into the scene. You're like, oh, that's sweet.
Yeah. I even
He
to-
blows it in on her. Just,
now,
I
now,
love you. Putting glass out of her eye and stuff.
it is reported that you can see, much like Indiana Jones, you can see the second pane of glass.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't see that second pane of glass in Indiana Jones. He is face to face
Sure.
with the Cobra, sir.
You because there to film that there was a second pane of
Yeah, you can
glass
see
in
it.
front of.
I didn't see it. I didn't notice it. Did you see
I
it?
never saw it, but apparently
Oh, I'm sure you
somebody said you could see it if you looked at it a certain way or whatever.
It's just so weird to me. Nobody reacted.
Yes. Now that you mention it,
Well, I thought the same thing because I'm like, why didn't the guards jump?
Or her.
yeah.
even.
I don't have an answer, and I'm almost embarrassed to say I never thought of it. The whiff of death. Bumstead learns of Walensky's suicide. The captain is killed by the strangers upon discovery of Murdoch's escape. There's always, not always, but there's this whiff of death. Usually, the death of the mentor sometimes, or
Yeah.
which I guess it kind of true. I don't want to say Walensky's the mentor, but he's definitely the one who knows.
That you're always lost?
Dark Night of the Soul.
Okay.
All's lost. That was a false victory.
What was the false victory?
Bumstead's eyes about Murdoch is able to convince.
Oh, you said that. Okay.
Yeah. What is the last thing you remember doing during the day? And he can't remember, and he sees once he sees that floating book, he's got to know something's up.
Yeah. All
So
right.
I'm calling that a false victory because he has achieved some victory, but it's not everything that he needs and wants. Bumstead's shoelace is untied now. Things are starting to come undone, I say, compared with the previous shoelace scene. Or whatever. Bumstead is now invested. He releases Murdoch and joins him on his quest, which brings us to what I'm calling the break into three.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah. So the Shell Beach, like not being a poster and not really existing, is that like a part of the Hightower surprise?
Okay, so break into three, gathering the team. It's going to be Bumstead, Murdoch, and Schraber.
Yep.
Storming the castle, going to Shell Beach, where we now see this I thought they did well. I call it we are given a nice Pope in the pool scene as they're rowing, and Schraber is giving his. I thought that was entirely
I
appropriate.
thought it was boring because he tells us the same shit
Yeah,
I
sure.
saw at the beginning. you know?
The scene is totally gutted. Yeah, absolutely.
No. It's good. It's remove the shitty fucking prologue, and
Yes.
it's done very well.
Now, and about the right time that you can start putting. Oh, okay, that means that, and whatever.
And I think it lends as far as it working is because Bumstead is now going, well, what else happened?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
he's invested. He's asking the questions.
Yes,
too.
and I got information from that I'd forgotten. That because I think
yeah,
when I
it's not
first
all the same stuff. Yeah.
no, I know, but when I very, very first saw this, I thought this was Earth, or something. I don't know what I thought, but I didn't think that they were taken away from Earth, and that they couldn't remember Earth. I guess that was even the bigger thing to me that I got.
Just from where? I'm sorry, I can't remember.
Yeah, right. That I've forgotten. You know.
Yeah.
But that wasn't given in the prologue, and you're giving it there, and it's like, so it's right at the right place. That whole prologue needs to go. Yeah, do not watch the theatrical cut. All right, so the Hightower surprise, Shell Beach is only a poster. There is nothing beyond the city walls. Is what I'm. The strangers attack. He is captured, and Bumstead is sacrificed. I'm listing as the.
Yeah,
You know,
'cause
that's
they
good.
Dig
Yeah.
through the wall to figure out
And see
what's
space
in
and shit.
it.
Yeah.
Almost gets sucked out.
Yeah,
Well,
the dig deep down
Two of
is.
them do get sucked out.
Yeah, and then they do get sick.
Yeah.
sucked
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, I would have stepped back quite a bit, as soon as I realized, oh shit, there's fucking space out there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or I accidentally fall and get sucked out.
Yes, and then
Yeah, so I guess yours again, your beats sound right, but I guess I had that pegged as the all is lost because we lose Bumstead and
Yeah.
it's a false defeat because it's
yeah,
he thought it was still there, but that doesn't match up with the rest of your stuff.
Well, the
Because if that's the Hightower surprise, then Schraber coming up because I didn't have much of a break into three on my notes. The way it goes is he surrenders himself, but that's
Yes.
like a Dark Knight, right? And it's Schraber breaking into three, coming up with the plan to
Yes.
give him the different memories. But in your version, right? That's the coming up after the Hightower surprise. That's a new plan.
Yes, dig
Mine
deep
just
down.
yeah, that works better than just Schraber breaking into 3 as opposed to Murdoch, right?
Right. Yeah. Dig deep down. So he's captured. Bumstead is sacrificed. The dig deep down. He's given his true memories back and the knowledge of the strangers he needs by Schraber. So there's this whole, almost like the Matrix thing where Schraber is in his memories. You're doing great, John, but you're going to have to, the machine. But I thought that was very, very cool. The new plan, Murdoch conquers the strangers with his heightened skill, faces the big boss in ground and aerial combat, controlling the machine. He makes an end of the strangers. So the new plan, there's this big battle, which I thought was kind of cool.
Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was cool.
Leading us to the final image. A man in control, from gasping, unsteady, confused fish out of water to the exact opposite. Calm, steady, fully aware. From a fish out of water and a strange, dark world to a man in control and back in his environment in a bright, sunny world. From alone and not himself to with his wife and full knowledge of who he is. The rat having discovered that the only way out of the maze is through the wall and to remake the maze to more of his own liking. So the rat never had an out in that maze until they broke through the wall.
Yeah, sure.
Because it ends with them outside the wall, outside the walls of this maze. The city is his fishbowl, but now a fishbowl of his own making and taste. The city will always be the maze. Like, they're not going to get back there. Nobody remembers her. Nobody remembers how to get back there. Maybe he could fashion a spaceship, but where would they go? So I think the city will always be his maze, his fishbowl, but one in which he is no longer the subject of testing and experimentation.
Yeah, because she's now Anna, right? Emma, because she'd been,
Oh, is that right? Yeah, because
Reprogrammed.
I'm not Anna. You soon will be. Yeah. So
she's Anna now. But now the strangers, the bad guys, I guess, are gone. Because she said you can't make something like that up. So ideally, that they will fall in love again and form new memories, and none of it will be fake. It'll all be real this time.
And he does. I thought that he pursued her, but he stays there. She's walking away, and she turns.
And says, "You want to come with me?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yes, I think that's exactly what you're saying, that new memories are going to be made. And if they were in love as Emma, that love is real and they will be in love as Anna.
And if she doesn't do what he wants, he'll just tune her anyway. So,
right.
So can
Tune her up.
Because I was thinking it's sad that she was a lounge singer or whatever. Now she's a clerk or whatever.
Yes.
So I'm like, now they're
she works at the movie theater, yeah.
Yeah. Well, now you're just stuck in whatever you ended up in.
One would.
yeah.
But-
I didn't think about that. That's good. Because fucking selling movie tickets or sultry lounge singer. I want to be the sultry lounge singer. You know what I mean? Those are my choices. You know?
But at this point, you would be free to. You would have a day and night, and that you theoretically have the freedom.
That would be my luck. I would be stuck doing the.
The two. I'm finally gonna get off the night shift versus
But just think of that existential crisis afterwards, after everything is said and done. It's like, oh, nothing has meaning anymore. We're all just people floating in space. Money doesn't have a thing.
I think that's some of the question that the movie asks. Because you read articles and everybody speculates. Well, what is the meaning here? Are we the sum of our memories, or or are we individual? Because Murdoch will say you were looking for what makes us individuals and human.
place.
You were looking up here, but that's not. So there's this existential question. Exactly right. What does it mean to be human? What does it mean to be individual? And is it memories? Is it experiences? Is it whatever? These are the questions I think meant to be asked by the movie. Maybe in clumsy ways, maybe not at other times. But so I think there are some problems, and I think we pointed them out. But at the end of the day, it's one of those movies that I still enjoy watching.
Yeah, I enjoyed it way more than I thought I was going to. And it wasn't like what I'd seen it before, but it wasn't like what I had remembered at all.
Yeah.
So
that's cool. I like the tone. I like noir. I think Rufus Sewell does a great job. I really like him in this movie.
He's always good.
Yeah, I really like him.
Kiefer Sutherland.
He played a
was
Nazi
better than I
in
thought. Man in the High Tower.
Man in the High Tower. Yes, yes.
yeah, and he's the
Which I
bad. He's
never
the
did
bad guy
finish.
in Knight's Tale as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah. I got to
Heath
finish
Ledger.
High Tower. I never did finish it. Anyway, all right. So that's Dark Tower. Any
Dark Tower?
Dark Tower.
Dark City.
Dark
City.
City. What movie are we reviewing?
Yeah. Anyway, any other thoughts, questions, concerns, comments?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm. When it was over, I was like, man, it's a shame we didn't get like a sequel, and like, cause some more strangers show up, and cause, Outpost 37 has gone awry now. And so, cause if they're doing this type of experiment all over the fucking place, and maybe more bad guys show
Well,
up and
I think this was meant to be kind of artsy.
sure.
I've never seen Metropolis, which is like a 30s German film or whatever, but
Yeah, Brazil too.
yeah, that's another one I kept seeing being mentioned. It drew heavily upon images and because Metropolis very much deals with those kind of themes too.
Yeah, the big
But-
face opening up.
Yeah, yes, and working class versus the rich class
Right.
in Metropolis, but here it's
Yeah, because when he Schraber, when he's rearranging people, he's like, "And the rich become richer." Or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
He's
yes.
like, "You'll have a maid's quarters by the
Yes.
time the night's done, or whatever."
right. Somebody had mentioned that big mask was designed specifically to look like Hal in 2001,
Oh, that's funny.
and made some allusion to
didn't
some of the
notice that.
themes in that. I don't know if that's true or not, but it looks like Hal. I don't know.
Right.
Anyway, all right. Any other comments, thoughts? Nope.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's do our past consider. I recommend it. I recommend it as a caveat. Couple of them. I think some of the issues we raise are legit as far as rules of the world and other things. And I think this opening prologue is garbage. So watch the director's cut. But if and so it's almost a catch-22. Think about it a little deeper because I think there are deep themes in this movie that are brought out. But at that point, you can also run the risk of running awry with some of the rules of the world that maybe don't make as much sense as we like. So, it is a catch-22 about how deep you want to go and discover the good and the bad. But I think as a movie, I enjoyed every time I watch it, and I would recommend the director's cut, obviously.
I'm gonna pass on this version. I might consider the director's cut
Sure.
without the stuff
Yeah.
because there were parts of this movie where it caught me, and I was like, "Hey, this is pretty good."
Yeah.
I'm invested, like the boat rowing thing you
Sure.
were explaining, and some of that third act a little bit. But
Yeah.
there in the second, third act, it was really good.
Yeah,
So, but
yeah,
I wanted to like it,
right,
I just didn't.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so we talked about this with Throw Mama and a bunch of other movies. A movie can have flaws, but if it serves you and makes you feel good or the way you want to feel, you'll forgive them. But if it has flaws and it doesn't make you feel, you're less forgiving. So,
Yep. I think it comes down to just, I guess, individual, like what you connect with, what,
Right,
if enough of it works for you, you're
Yeah.
able to forgive the other stuff. But if it doesn't, then
Then,
you're like,
yeah.
nope, I'm fucking
I'm
passing.
done. Yeah, I'm out. And this kind of movie, I think, is problematic in the sense that it is not going to nail everybody where,
Sure. The stranger, more weird movies.
Yes.
Strangers are more weird the movie is. Yeah, the smaller your
Right.
audience is going to be.
Yeah.
I think that we may have discovered why I didn't like it all the way through, and I think it may come down to the rules of the world.
yeah.
I think that's just it.
That's a big one for me a lot of times. Like
Yeah.
if
If
I start poking holes in it, going, oh, wait a minute. Well, why didn't this work? And if I start doing that, then all of a sudden I start picking it. It's
Yeah.
like pulling on a thread.
Well,
right?
now
Like
you're
they
out of the
say.
movie.
Yeah.
You're totally out. As soon as you start asking questions, you're no longer in the movie enjoying
Yep.
it. You're an outside observer, and at that point, they've lost you, and you've lost the movie. Yeah.
Yeah. And that sucks.
Yeah,
That's like one of the worst feelings in the world, especially when it's like, Star Wars or something like Mandalorian. Like, Lace hates it when I start picking the episode apart.
Ugh.
Sure. Yeah.
Not that kind of movie, kid. But anyhow.
Right.
Because it's something that, or you go into it expecting to like it, or it's a sequel to a series that you like or something, or it's got, whatever, right?
Yeah.
You have these, so I try, I struggle to have high expectations. I try to go in with everything with lower expectations. But yeah, it sucks when you start catching
Now-
stuff and it pulls you out and you're like, damn, I
now-
wanted to like that. Like you said, I wanted to like this movie, but it pissed me off,
Well, a lot of the movies, like Throw Mama, and even this one, that I watched before I even knew
Story, yeah.
mechanics and really liked, I still like
Yeah,
because I
it's-
liked it before I knew. But say I knew all this before, I
Yeah,
might not have.
forgives. Yeah.
If I'd
That's
spent
true. It
half the
works
movie,
that way too.
Yeah.
Yeah. It works that way too.
So
It's a recommend for me.
Okay,
If you
cool.
if you like sci-fi stuff and twisty mind bending stuff, and like we talked about, there's Matrix definitely has way more fun action set pieces.
yeah,
But yeah, there's a lot of stuff that
Keanu.
really, huh?
it's got Keanu.
But then again, like the
Definitely.
rules of the world in the Matrix all make
Yeah,
sense.
Yeah, they
they
do
do a better job with
all
that.
apply.
Yeah, but I don't know. There was
They
a lot
do?
of stuff.
Well,
right.
Well, yeah.
There's
Well,
a
hey,
lot of stuff in there
Maybe I
that
shouldn't be sleepy when I watch that one too.
there's a lot of intriguing stuff in this one. Like I said, I guess I went in with low expectations, and I mean, how I watched the trailer, and I know I'd seen this movie. I watched the trailer, I'm like, yeah, all right, this looks kind of cool. That's not what I remembered at all.
Yeah.
So watching it, yeah, as soon as that dude's, even though he told us the bullshit at the beginning, as soon as that one guy's head gets cracked open and a little blue alien thing crawls out, I'm like, all right, I don't know what the fuck's going on here, but let's, that meant this thing.
Now,
And to your point, is from a writer, is the fish out of water thing. I got that immediately.
Yeah.
So
I was hooked.
that kind of stuff, any kind of good writing, I'm forgiving a lot of shit.
Yeah,
Which
you
is
can
funny
make
because good
that
writing
scene
is
probably bought them 6 mistakes that I'll just forget.
exactly, which is funny because it's all under writing.
You're right.
You want me over with fish out of the water, rules of the world?
Yeah. Well, just as a side note, I like Matrix, but I really love Matrix 1. All the others I'm not
Agreed.
thrilled about. I watched Matrix Resurrections, the very last one.
Yeah, it's crap.
Trash.
Yeah, it's crap.
That movie is crap.
I didn't like it.
I did not like it at all because I have it on digital. I got on a discount, and I was thinking, okay, well, I'm going to buy this on Blu-ray too. And I watched it. I'm like, no, I'm
The
good.
only thing I liked about it was the how they made it was all like a video game, like the
Yeah,
stuff
sure.
that the events that have happened in the trilogy were now a popular video game.
Yeah, sure.
So to put them back in the system. I like that, but
Yeah, Matrix 1 and everything else, I don't. I don't.
and I liked Reloaded. That I liked where it was going, like the whole stuff with the architect and all that. But yeah, I mean, the way the series ended, I was not a fan.
Nah, I'm not a fan. All right, Sherry. I mean, I don't even know why I'm bothering to ask.
Oh, I think she was sleeping while we were doing this whole thing.
Yeah.
And sleep now.
She woke up.
Okay. No, I might surprise you. I would say I consider it.
Really? That's
Yes.
crazy.
Let me tell you why.
Okay.
I thought it was like a fucking pass. Get this shit out
Yeah.
of here.
No. First
Pass
of
it
all,
like a fruit stand on the highway.
Yes.
don't start watching it if you are sleepy.
That's right.
For real.
Yeah.
Because you have to pay attention. You really do have to pay attention, and it made more sense when
Well, not
I
if you watch
watched
the prologue, you know everything. So, yeah, I understand.
No, I had to.
She was asleep
Turn
during
the-
that too, man.
Well, yeah, I was.
Yeah.
Anyway, now I forgot what I was. I did like the actors that were in it.
Yeah, I did too.
And I think that kept me kind of interested at first. And then just certain things would happen, like when the guy who knew what was going on,
Yeah, well,
he was like going on and talking.
Yeah.
And then he jumps in front of the train. I'm like, okay, I really need to see the end of this.
Yeah, sure.
You know? It's
yeah.
like once you start it, it's like, okay, I got to see where this is going.
Right, right.
But to actually sit down and say, okay, I want to watch this movie or to pick it
Yeah.
or something. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
So that's why I say consider.
I liked William Hurt. I could watch him play that character in a full straight up movie.
Now I did.
Yeah.
I do like him, and I did like him in this. Yes.
He's one of those guys I could watch almost anything.
I would give the director's cut a solid chance.
Sure.
I would.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I rented it for $2.99, and
I did
I
too.
could have bought it for $9.99. And once I was done watching, I was like, "Damn, I wish I'd bought it."
Well,
Oh, I was exactly the opposite. I'm
Right.
like, I'm glad I
paid
didn't buy
$2.99.
this.
Yeah.
Damn it!
Yeah, I mean, but you know,
Why wasn't it on whatever? Yeah.
if the director's cut would have been better, I might consider.
Can you find
adding
it? I haven't looked.
well, it's on the
I-
Blu-ray. Both versions on the
Oh,
Blu-ray.
if you buy the
and I'm
hard
sure I
copy.
bought that
Oh, yeah.
Blu-ray on the cheap. I
If
mean,
you buy a hard copy, okay.
Yeah.
I've looked for a hard copy for 2 days now.
You
but
couldn't
Oh
find
damn, you couldn't find it.
we
Okay.
went to the
Oh, I didn't
movie
even try.
place
Yeah.
and
So
nobody had
converted.
it.
Oh.
But as a general whatever rule for me, I don't like movies that are just. It was nighttime the whole time.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
It's dark.
Well, that's
It's
noir.
just-
Noir is always
Well,
usually
then I
raining.
don't like that.
Yeah, I think Stacey's like that too. She doesn't like night stuff or apocalyptic stuff, like where it's
Yeah.
just too dark and too depressing.
Well, the darkness. I mean, noir may mean dark. I can't even remember now.
It does.
Yeah,
It does.
It is definitely meant to create a mood. All the Marlowe stuff, all the hard-boiled detective is always night, and the city is always gritty and dirty and criminal. And
And there's always jazz going on in the background.
Just
Just
smoky.
a lonely trumpet. Just-
yes, it is. All the cinematography is meant to create a mood.
Do you
in
like-
which this detective?
Do you
mood.
like Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
I remember watching it, and
Oh, you don't remember? If
I
you-
don't remember the movie. And
It's very
not
noir,
like-
but
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
but it's got bright cartoon
right,
characters
sure.
to contrast that.
Yeah,
And there's scenes during the day and stuff, but the feel is very 40s.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was just curious.
That might be a
corruption.
future.
Cops are corrupt. There's
Yeah.
usually these stock. Like
I
you
really
want to
like
talk
that
about
one
stock
a lot.
characters. there's the femme fatale, the crooked cops, the
I'm not bad. I'm just drawn that way.
yeah, right.
Oh,
Yeah. Anyway,
yeah.
Anyhow,
all right. Well, that's Dark City.
yeah, it surprised me, Cher. I thought you were like I said. I thought you were nope, pass. I fell asleep because
Well-
this movie was so bad.
I was putting it off to the last minute. And that's probably why I was
Yeah,
so
no,
sleepy.
She was not. She's not interested. Wasn't interested in this, and so for her to say even that's an advance.
Well, I mean, like I said, I like the actors in it, and
yeah, I don't. Yeah.
well, you know, a couple of things happen, and I'm like, okay, let me see where this is
I
going.
think what they did well, they did very well, and the weak points.
And even
know.
by the end, I'm like, when that knife was coming at the guy, I said, "Turn it around, turn it
Yeah.
around." So
Yeah, and-
I mean,
and
I got into it.
Some
but-
of that almost. I don't want to because I enjoyed it all, but some of that almost went over the edge of being a little too much, but not enough to put me over the edge on that.
It was pretty damn close.
You're right. Yeah.
I was with Sherry. I was like, oh, he's tuning the knife now. You know,
Yeah.
everybody else will just pulls him out, and tries to stab whatever he's throwing it.
Yeah.
I still think that could have been using his mind. He could have thrown anything at him. But
Sure. No. Right.
but yeah, but it's
Right.
I was
Yeah. What they did
the way
well, I
they
think
float in the
did-
air all stiff and creepy like. Yeah, I was with it.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
If I could float like that, I wouldn't walk anywhere.
Right.
That's right. I mean,
and you know, all right,
my
speaking
legs
of-
would atrophy, and I would
Or I'd
have two noodles.
or I'd
And
tune a
speaking-
fucking slide for myself so I could just slide down where I need to go, or an
Speaking
elevator.
of the floating thing, like I said, I fell asleep, woke up, saw them floating, but when I started it over and they walk out of that elevator towards the room, I'm like, why are they walking? I thought they float.
Yeah. Just
Yeah,
go right
the-
up to the window and go in.
That's just for
Yeah, that's
high speed
Superman
stuff, you
taking
know?
the stairs.
yes, and that's the problem with these omnipotent, and that's part of the reason I don't like
Yeah, they would have
superheroes. But
been cooler, like have them floating down that hall as opposed to walking.
Yeah,
sure,
that would have been really creepy.
yeah.
Yeah, and then just the wall
You
opens
just see
up
like a
and they
shot of
come
their
in and it
feet,
closes.
hovering above the ground.
very
yeah.
menacing. Yeah, no. All right. So, and this is the other problem, though, and we're going to shut this down. But this is the other problem with mixed genre movies, right? It's noir, no, it's science fiction, no, it's superhero. You really walk a line, and it becomes as a noir. I thought it was amazing. As a science fiction piece, I was more sold on the noir. I would like those.
Yeah.
So mixed genres can be a problem.
was fun.
Cowboys and Aliens. I don't know if I ever saw that, but I don't know how.
I liked that one.
I remember liking that one, right?
Okay,
It's
yeah.
weird. It's one of those movies I remember liking, but like,
Haven't
how many
watched
times have I watched it? Probably just the one
Yeah,
once or
That
twice.
one,
you know?
and what was the other one on Mars?
Mars Attacks.
No, not Mars
No.
Attacks.
Red Planet with Val Kilmer.
No, it was
No.
with the 1800s, and he goes up there.
Oh, John Carter of
John
Mars.
Carter
Oh.
of Mars.
I've seen that one a couple of times. I
I
like,
like
that one a
that
lot.
one.
Isn't that like the guy who wrote Tar? Isn't that like an old story? Like
Yeah, it's
the-
before
Yes.
Star Wars.
Yeah.
no,
yeah.
no, no. I'm talking about like
Yes, Edgar
Very
Rice
old.
Burroughs.
Yes.
It's over 100 years old.
that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it was good when I sat down and watched it.
I enjoyed it.
Damn,
It's a
this
big
is really
fun
good.
movie, but it made zero money because Disney's like they're all about studios IP, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
but you picked an IP that's 100 years old. Nobody fucking
Well,
knows
that's,
what John
and
Carter
this is the
is.
thing that like Blue Beetle. How many Blue Beetle? I'm not a comic book fan, so maybe I don't have any clue about this.
I've got 1 through 1,000 of the Blue
Blue
Beetles.
Beetle. I didn't even know it was such a thing.
Yeah, it looks dumb. Did you watch the trailer?
No, I did not. I was in.
It looks not.
It looks dumb.
And
It looks like it's in focus.
Yeah, exactly.
that.
Lath was all excited. I'm like,
he was excited about Blue Beetle. Does he?
he's all in the superhero shit right now. He's in denial, sir.
Even
He's-
ones
he's
he doesn't
coming
never
around.
heard of. Okay, well,
It's
whatever.
gonna have bright.
He likes the
flashy
world building
colors.
of like where they all come together and type
Sure.
stuff, right? But he's in denial, and he's been mad at me for years now. But I told him with the Infinity War, with the Iron Man and all that, and fighting Thanos, I said that's the peak. That's the highest it will ever get. That's
yeah.
the best it will be. It'll go downhill from here.
They're going to run it right
and
into
it
the
has,
ground.
and he's
They're not going to stop
he's
making them
mad.
until it makes $0.
Sure, it'll be like I truly think it's like westerns. They'll go superhero movies will go away like westerns.
Yes,
They're
They'll
not
come
gonna
back and make
do
them
it.
every now
Well,
and then, but it'll go away.
Shazam and Black.
Shazam and Ant-Man kind of bombed a little
Yeah,
bit.
but the
Shazam really did.
the Rock movie. What was his name?
Black Adam.
Oh, Black Adam.
Adam,
Yes,
yeah,
that
bombed.
bombed as well. Yes.
Yes, and the guy who played Shazam is like really bent out of shape, and
Yeah, and that sucks.
he's doing video rants and this kind of thing.
Well, the
Oh,
other
yeah, 'cause,
one.
Like they're supposed to cross more, which
Yeah.
is what people like to see, and The Rock shut all that shit down.
Yeah,
apparently,
he's
and
getting a bit. I thought he was a
I thought
great.
he's a cool dude, but he seemed like a douchebag now.
Yeah, I think he's crossing in douchebaggery, so that's just sad. That's sad.
It does
yeah,
suck.
well,
Kevin Hart will put him in his place though.
Sure. Kevin Hart's in Die Hard Die Hard 2?
Die
Yeah.
Hard 2, Die Harder.
Die Harder or something? On
That's
Roku or
funny.
whatever it is. I don't know.
That's funny.
I haven't yet to watch those, but I need to. All right. That's good. We're good.
Good.
All right. We are out.
And you like this movie? Yeah?
Trust the artist, not the executive. Anyway, putting humanity back in their bowl. Shell, to me, means shell games.
And then I wake up
And it's another guy.
It's another guy, and I'm like,
I don't know who I am, but that's not me. I thought I had my answers, but it's all a lie.
Don't let Superman take the stairs. Exactly.
And I think that's some of the question that the movie asks.
don't start watching it if you are sleepy. It's
yeah.
like once you start it, it's like, okay, I got to see where this is going.
Mixed genres can be a problem.
Sleep now.